What's up YouTube, Mac here, bringing you guys episode 1 of our brand new series, New Meta Mondays. If you guys are hyped about this series, please go ahead and Mac attack the hell out the like button. Your support is greatly appreciated. This series is essentially all about creativity. So that's why at the end of each and every episode I'm going to be asking you guys to post in the comment section down below Pokemon that are from any tier, OU, UU, RU, essentially nothing that's banned Ubers. I'm going to be asking for you guys to post suggestions about those Pokemon in the comments. You can ask me to do specific Pokemon with or without sets, teams that you thought about, rain teams, trick room teams, sun teams, whatever. I'm completely open here. I don't really care what you guys ask me to use or whatnot. Essentially, the whole idea is just to be creative and trying to use Pokemon, especially OU guys, that have suggested sets on Smogon in a different way and creative way that can potentially trip up an opponent either in a Wi-Fi battle or on Showdown itself to help give you guys a little bit of an advantage when you guys are battling. While I'm doing this series, I'm not overly concerned about winning or losing the battles. It's essentially all about being creative. So that's the whole point. Maybe one day when you guys are watching this, you'll see a Pokemon you'll see a Pokemon on here that I'm using, and you say, "Hey, you know what? I want to use this for a Wi-Fi team, or it fits on my Showdown team, or whatever." So that's the whole point. It's trying to create maybe a new meta for some of these Pokemon. So that's the whole point. Just trying to be creative, trying to get new ideas, something new into the meta game. Because when you go into a battle, especially nowadays, I look at some of these Pokemon and say, okay, yeah, this is the guy, this is what he's gonna do. So we're just trying to be new, trying to be different, just trying to inject something a little funky into the new metagame, into the metagame that's currently out there right now. So, like I said, at the end of this episode, I'm going to be asking you guys to post in the comment section basically anything you want about Pokemon you want me to use, and I'll try to fit it into my team for next week. So, I decided for this week to use something that I always thought was a possibility to be using an Assault Vest Empoleon. I'm going to explain a little bit about him in a second. I'm just going to quickly go over the rest of the team. It's pretty standard. The rest of these guys: physically defensive Landorus T, Mega Sceptile with I run Giga Drain over Leaf Storm. This is the physically defensive Sleeveon, Choice Banded Azumarill, and Choice Scarf Darmanitan. So, like I said, this team's all about the Empoleon. I decided to run Assault Vest specifically because of its typing. He's a Steel type. Steel resists vast majority of the metagame right now. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's only weak to 3 types and 4 other types that hit him for neutral damage. So out of all the typing, essentially he's only getting hit by 7 types for at least normal damage. So he's going to be able to resist a lot of attacks. Assault Vest, because of to boost his special defense, obviously, because he does resist a lot of attacks. So I'm gonna basically go over his EV spread because it's probably the simplest one to explain. First, 248 HP, that gives him an odd number HP to go with his decent HP stat of base 84. 252 special attack, obviously, because his special attack is far greater than its attack. A quiet nature, I run a quiet nature right now to boost his special attack and minus speed. That's because I have the Aqua Jet on him. I'll explain why I run it in a second. And the 8 attacks, the last 8 EVs go into attack to boost Aqua Jet. I run 3 special attacks and 1 physical attack. Scald. I run Scald typically over Hydro Pump because I hate that it's 70% accurate. So I hate the fact that he can potentially miss. I run it over Surf because of the 30% chance to burn. And especially if I do end up getting a burn, his typing will actually help me because he does resist a lot. He can actually now tank physical hits extremely well. Flash Cannon has a chance to lower special defense. Not overly concerned about that. It's stab. It hits fairy types pretty hard, so you can actually switch into a lot of fairy typing pretty well, and without too much concern with its HP and its Assault Vest. Ice Beam. It's to take on so many switch-ins like Garchomps, Gliscors, Landorus T's, Dragon types. Can't think of any other ones off the top of my head. But that's essentially what Ice Beam is there to do. It's just to take on those typing, because most of the time a Garchomp or Landorus T is actually a pretty good switch-in on an Empoleon. And last but not least, we have Aqua Jet. It's basically for priority, because I'm running a negative speed stat. Well, not negative nature and speed. That with Aqua Jet, it allows me to basically have priority over a lot of Pokemon, and allows me to, if I can actually hit it with, say, with one of my special attacks and bring it down to a point where an Aqua Jet would actually be able to take it out, then I can actually surprise a lot of people, because I don't think they expect an Aqua Jet to be coming from an Empoleon. Most people, when they see an Empoleon, think of either the Choice Spec set. There was a time where people ran the Agility set, but the most common is usually the specially defensive Stealth Rock, Defog, Scald, Toxic set that most people with leftovers, so that most people run nowadays. So I think if they switch in, they might not actually expect somebody else out there to actually be running an Assault Vest Empoleon especially with a priority move. So that's basically my thought on using them. I figured the Assault So I figured the Assault Vest combined with his typing might actually prove that he could actually run an Assault Vest, maybe not amazingly well, but at least to a point where he might be able to fit in on a team that needs some sort of specially defensive tank, as well as be able to dish out a couple hits. So when I come back, we're actually going to be getting into a battle. So just hang on one second, guys. All right, guys. So we're back here. This is actually a battle that I had. Like I was saying in the camera, like I was saying, this series isn't about winning. It isn't about losing. It's just basically about using new Pokemon. So this battle, if I'm not mistaken, actually, the other guy actually ends up defaulting. Well, he actually ends up forfeiting, but basically, I think I was actually going to end up winning this battle anyways. I'm actually the top. Obviously, I'm at the top screen here. I'm not sure why Showdown does this every once in a while. So I'm at the top here. With my team that I had, my Landorus T was basically always going to be my lead. So that's the whole point, is to get up some Stealth Rocks and get some damage off. So I'm not necessarily just going to be, I'm not going to just do an analysis, but I'm just basically going to be basically talking about, the Empoleon itself. I'm not quite sure. I see the Zorak. I'm not quite sure what this thing does. Obviously, I never knew Hawlucha could learn Night Daze. I figured this thing couldn't do anything to me because it's a physical attacker, so I just go for the Stealth Rocks. It's actually the stupid Zorak it is itself. I knew U-Turn was actually going to do a decent amount of damage, so I actually switch out into my Darmanitan. I'm just waiting to a point where I can actually use my Empoleon. I'm actually quite surprised he actually stayed on Darmanitan. knew I don't think I could kill it, so I figured this is probably my best pet to bring in my Empoleon. He actually goes for the Sludge Bomb. I'm actually pretty happy about that. He goes for the Thunderbolt. You see, that only does 35%, so that's super effective. I know it's not stab, but I thought that was actually pretty cool that Assault Vest, what's his name, Gudra, can only do about 35% on a super effective Thunderbolt. Uh, I knew I couldn't keep switching hits with him. I'm actually surprised he switched out with his Gudra, as eventually he would actually be able to take me out. I go for Protect because I want to scout what this thing wants to do. He goes for the Giga Drain, so I know that Empoleon, even though, if I'm not mistaken, it's neutral damage, it only does 26%. So, as you see, it can actually tank special hits actually extremely well because of the Assault Vest. So I'm actually pretty happy about that. That this Empoleon, I was able to use it a couple times in this battle and show that a non-stab Thunderbolt from a Gudra does 30 some odd percent. What was it, 35%? And a stab Giga Drain from a Mega Sceptile did what, 26%, something like that. So he was actually able to tank the special attacks pretty well, and he was actually able to basically OHKO the Sceptile with the one shot from the Ice Beam, and he actually did fairly decent damage to an Assault Vest Gudra in itself. So, like I said, he forfeited there actually. I was in no worry about actually winning this battle. I still had 6 guys. He had 2. So, so that's the end of this episode. So I want you guys now to, in the comment section down below, to please go ahead and suggest new sets or ideas you want me to use in the next episode or the next installment of New Meta Mondays. And so that's going to be it for this episode. So if you guys could please go ahead, don't forget to Mac attack the hell out the like button, and I will see you guys next week.